and a very warm welcome to Fireside Fables. If you're seeking stories that weave tranquility into your night, guiding you gently towards a restful slumber, you've found the right place. Here, we embark on journeys not just to distant lands and times, but into the heart of peace and calm itself. So, make yourself comfortable, let the day's worries melt away, and join me by the fireside. Together, we'll explore tales designed to soothe your mind, ease your soul, and escort you into the most peaceful sleep. Tonight, let the flickering flames and the soft cadence of our stories be your sanctuary. The gentle lapping of waves against weathered wood filled the air as Captain Rosemary stood on the dock, her eyes surveying the horizon. The rising sun cast a warm, golden glow across the tranquil harbor, its light dancing on the water's surface like scattered gems. A soft breeze carried the scent of salt and adventure, tousling Rosemary's silver-streaked hair as she took a deep, contented breath. Before her bobbed a modest vessel, a far cry from the grand ships she had commanded in her pirating days. This boat, with its sturdy hull and cozy cabin, represented a new chapter in Rosemary's life. It was a vessel built not for conquest or treasure hunting, but for peace and introspection. With practiced ease, Rosemary began to load her few possessions onto the boat. Each item she brought aboard held meaning, well-worn books filled with tales of the sea, a cherished spyglass that had guided her through countless journeys, and a small box containing mementos of friendships forged in the heat of adventure. These treasures of the heart would be her companions on this new voyage. As the morning progressed, Rosemary methodically prepared her boat for departure. She checked and double-checked the rigging, ensuring each rope and knot was secure. In the galley, she stowed away provisions, simple, nourishing foods that would sustain her body as the journey nourished her soul. The sun climbed higher in the sky as Rosemary completed her preparations. The bustling sounds of the harbor, seagulls calling, distant voices of merchants and sailors created a soothing backdrop to her work. Yet, Rosemary found herself looking forward to the quiet that awaited her on the open sea. With everything in place, Rosemary paused at the helm of her boat. Her weathered hands, once quick to grasp a sword or man, a cannon now rested gently on the smooth wood of the wheel. She closed her eyes, feeling the subtle rocking of the vessel beneath her feet. In that moment, a sense of peace washed over her, as steady and sure as the tides. Slowly, deliberately, Rosemary began to guide her boat out of the harbor. The familiar motions of sailing came back to her effortlessly, muscle memory built over decades of life at sea. As the shoreline began to recede, Rosemary felt not the thrill of escape or the anticipation of danger, but a profound sense of returning home. The open sea stretched before her, a vast expanse of blue meeting the horizon in every direction. Rosemary set her course, not for any particular destination, but simply towards the promise of quiet days and tranquil nights. The gentle waves seemed to welcome her, their rhythm a soothing lullaby that spoke of adventures yet to come. As the last glimpse of land faded from view, Rosemary smiled softly to herself. The wind filled her sails, carrying her forward into a new life of peace and reflection. The legendary Captain Rosemary, once feared across the 7 seas, now embarked on her greatest journey yet, a voyage of the heart and soul. As the day progressed, Captain Rosemary's small vessel glided smoothly through the calm waters. The sun had traced its arc across the sky, and now, as afternoon began to fade into evening, Rosemary found herself anticipating the day's grand finale. She had witnessed countless sunsets in her years at sea, yet each one held its own unique beauty, a reminder of the world's constant capacity for wonder. Rosemary adjusted the sails, her movements unhurried and deliberate. The wind had remained steady throughout the day, a gentle companion on her journey. She breathed deeply, savoring the crisp, salty air that filled her lungs. The familiar scent brought with it a sense of timelessness, as if all the years of her life at sea had distilled into this single, perfect moment. As the first hints of gold began to tinge the edges of the clouds, Rosemary settled herself at the stern of the boat. She had prepared a simple meal: bread, cheese, and a handful of ripe berries, which she now enjoyed with quiet appreciation. The flavors seemed somehow more vibrant out here on the open sea, each bite a small celebration of life's simple pleasures. The sky began its transformation in earnest, the blue deepening to indigo as streaks of pink and orange painted the horizon. Rosemary watched in silent awe as the sun, a great golden orb, descended towards the waterline. Its light shimmered across the gentle waves, creating a path of molten gold that stretched from the horizon to her little boat. Seabirds wheeled overhead, their calls soft and distant, as they too seemed to pause and admire the spectacle. A school of fish broke the surface nearby, their scales glinting in the fading light before they disappeared back into the depths. Rosemary smiled, feeling a kinship with all the creatures of the sea, each playing their part in the grand tapestry of ocean life. As the sun dipped lower, the colors intensified, as if the sky itself was ablaze. Rosemary's weathered face was bathed in the warm glow, the light softening the lines etched by years of adventure and hardship. In this moment, she felt a profound sense of peace, a feeling that had often eluded her in her tumultuous past. Memories drifted through her mind like gentle currents. She recalled other sunsets, viewed from the decks of grander ships, surrounded by crews both loyal and fierce. Those times had been filled with excitement, danger, and the constant thrill of the unknown. Yet now, in the quiet solitude of her small boat, Rosemary found a different kind of excitement, the joy of stillness, of being fully present in the moment. The sun finally slipped below the horizon, leaving in its wake a soft twilight that gradually deepened into night. Stars began to appear, twinkling into existence, one by one, until the sky was awash with their gentle light. The moon, a slender crescent, cast a silvery glow across the water, creating a new path for Rosemary's eyes to follow. With the night fully settled, Rosemary reluctantly rose from her seat. She moved about the deck, lighting a small lantern that cast a warm, comforting glow. As she prepared for the night ahead, setting the boat on a steady course, Rosemary felt a deep sense of gratitude. This first sunset of her journey had been a gift, a beautiful reminder of the peace she had sought in embarking on this new adventure. With the memory of those spectacular colors still vivid in her mind, Rosemary looked forward to the quiet night ahead and to all the sunsets yet to come. As the last traces of twilight faded from the sky, Captain Rosemary found herself enveloped in the vast, star-studded canopy of the night. The gentle rocking of her boat and the soft lapping of waves against the hull created a soothing rhythm, a lullaby sung by the sea itself. Rosemary settled herself comfortably on the deck, a warm blanket draped over her shoulders to ward off the cool night air. The moon, a slender crescent, hung low on the horizon, casting a silvery path across the water. Its gentle light was just enough to silhouette the contours of the boat, leaving the rest of the world in a peaceful, velvety darkness. As Rosemary's eyes adjusted to the night, the stars began to reveal themselves in all their glory. Countless pinpricks of light sprawled across the inky sky, some twinkling faintly, others burning with a steady, unwavering glow. Rosemary's gaze wandered from one constellation to another, tracing the familiar patterns she had used to navigate by for so many years. Each grouping of stars held a story, both in the myths passed down through generations of sailors and in Rosemary's own rich tapestry of memories. Her eyes found Orion, the hunter striding across the heavens. The sight of it brought a smile to Rosemary's lips as she remembered a daring escape years ago when she had used Orion's belt to guide her ship through treacherous waters on a moonless night. The memory, once filled with heart-pounding excitement, now felt distant and dreamlike, softened by the passage of time and her newfound peace. The Pleiades cluster shimmered faintly, reminding Rosemary of a tranquil night much like this one, spent on a remote island with her loyal crew. They had shared stories around a campfire, their laughter mingling with the sound of waves on the shore. The warmth of that camaraderie still lingered in her heart, a cherished reminder of the bonds forged in her adventurous past. As the night deepened, Rosemary's gaze was drawn to the North Star, constant and unwavering. How many times had she relied on its steady presence to find her way home? Now, in the twilight of her seafaring career, Rosemary found new meaning in its constancy. It stood as a reminder that even as life changed and evolved, some things remained steadfast and true. The gentle breeze carried the scent of salt and seaweed, mingling with the earthy aroma of the wooden deck. Rosemary breathed deeply, letting the familiar smells wash over her. They brought with them a flood of sensory memories, the feel of rough ropes in her hands, the taste of sea spray on her lips, the sound of sails snapping in the wind. Each recollection was a thread in the rich tapestry of her life. As she continued to gaze at the stars, Rosemary felt a profound sense of connection to the sea, to the sky, to her own past and present. The vastness of the cosmos above her was a humbling reminder of her place in the grand scheme of things. Yet rather than feeling small or insignificant, Rosemary felt a deep sense of belonging. She was a part of this beautiful, mysterious universe, just as the stars and the sea were a part of her. The night wore on, and Rosemary found herself drifting in and out of a peaceful doze. Her dreams were soft and formless, filled with starlight and the gentle motion of waves. When she opened her eyes, the sky had shifted, new constellations taking the place of those that had sunk below the horizon. As the first hint of dawn began to lighten the eastern sky, Rosemary stirred from her reverie. She stood slowly, stretching her limbs and feeling a deep sense of contentment settle in her bones. The night of stargazing and remembrance had been a gift, a chance to honor her past while embracing the tranquility of her present. With the stars fading and a new day on the horizon, Rosemary made her way to the helm. As she adjusted the sails to catch the morning breeze, she carried with her the peace of the night sky and the warm glow of cherished memories. The journey continued, guided by the stars that had watched over her all her life, leading her ever onward into new adventures of the heart and soul. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, bathing the sea in a warm, golden light, Captain Rosemary stood at the helm of her small boat, her weathered hands resting lightly on the wheel. The morning air was crisp and invigorating, carrying with it the promise of a beautiful day ahead. The sea stretched out before her, a vast expanse of blue that seemed to merge with the horizon, creating an endless canvas of tranquility. Rosemary's boat glided smoothly through the gentle waves, leaving a small wake that quickly dissolved back into the sea. The rhythmic sound of water lapping against the hull created a soothing melody, accompanied by the occasional cry of a distant seabird. It was in this moment of serene solitude that Rosemary first noticed a sleek, gray form moving gracefully through the water alongside her boat. At first, she thought her eyes might be playing tricks on her, a remnant of her night of stargazing perhaps. But as she watched, the form surfaced, revealing the curved dorsal fin and playful demeanor of a bottlenose dolphin. Rosemary's face softened into a smile as she observed the creature's fluid movements, so perfectly in harmony with the sea. The dolphin seemed to be keeping pace with the boat, occasionally leaping out of the water in graceful arcs before diving back beneath the surface. Each time it reappeared, Rosemary felt a surge of joy, as if she were witnessing a private performance put on by the sea itself. She found herself speaking softly to the dolphin, her voice barely above a whisper, naming it Whisper in honor of its gentle presence. As the morning wore on, Whisper remained a constant companion to Rosemary's journey. The dolphin's playful antics brought a lightness to Rosemary's heart, reminding her of the simple joys that could be found in the companionship of nature. She marveled at the intelligence shining in Whisper's eyes, sensing a depth of understanding that transcended the barriers between species. Rosemary's thoughts drifted to the many legends and stories she had heard about dolphins throughout her years at sea. Sailors had long regarded these creatures as good omens, bringers of luck, and protectors of those who ventured out onto the waves. While Rosemary had seen her fair share of superstitions come and go, she couldn't deny the sense of peace and rightness that Whisper's presence brought to her journey. As the sun reached its zenith, casting shimmering reflections across the water, Rosemary decided to pause her journey for a while. She carefully furled the sails and let the boat drift gently on the current. Taking a seat at the edge of the deck, her feet dangling just above the water's surface, Rosemary watched as Whisper swam lazy circles around the boat. The afternoon passed in a peaceful blur, with Rosemary alternating between watching Whisper's graceful movements and closing her eyes to bask in the warm sunlight. The gentle rocking of the boat and the rhythmic sound of Whisper's breathing as the dolphins surfaced for air lulled Rosemary into a state of deep relaxation. As the day began to wane, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and orange, Rosemary sensed that her time with Whisper was coming to an end. The dolphin circles around the boat grew wider and its leaps became fewer. Rosemary felt a mix of gratitude and wistfulness as she watched Whisper prepare to depart. With one final magnificent leap, Whisper soared out of the water, seeming to hang suspended in the air for a moment before diving back into the sea with barely a splash. Rosemary watched the spot where the dolphin had disappeared, her heart full of appreciation for the unexpected friendship she had found in the vastness of the ocean. As the last rays of sunlight painted the sky in brilliant colors, Rosemary unfurled her sails once more, ready to continue her journey. The memory of Whisper's visit lingered like a warm glow in her chest, a reminder of the magic and wonder that could be found in the simplest of encounters. Rosemary steered her boat onward, guided by the first stars appearing in the twilight sky. She carried with her a renewed sense of connection to the sea and all its inhabitants, grateful for the gentle reminder that even in solitude, one is never truly alone on the vast, beautiful ocean. As the sun rose on another tranquil day, Captain Rosemary found herself navigating through waters that seemed to whisper of hidden treasures. The coastline had come into view, a distant line of green and brown against the horizon. Rosemary's keen eyes, honed by years of reading the subtleties of the sea, noticed a small break in the shoreline, a promising sign of a secluded inlet. With gentle, practiced movements, Rosemary adjusted her course, guiding her small vessel towards this new discovery. As she drew closer, the coastline revealed itself in greater detail. Lush vegetation cascaded down rocky cliffs, creating a vibrant tapestry of greens that met the deep blue of the sea. The sound of waves lapping against the shore grew more distinct, a soothing rhythm that seemed to welcome her approach. Carefully navigating through a narrow opening between two rocky outcroppings, Rosemary found herself entering a sheltered cove. The water here was calm, almost mirror-like, reflecting the sky and surrounding landscape with perfect clarity. It was as if she had sailed into a hidden world, a secret haven untouched by the passage of time. Rosemary skillfully anchored her boat in the calm waters of the cove. The gentle tug of the anchor settling into the seabed sent a small shudder through the vessel, a familiar sensation that signaled a pause in her journey. With the boat secured, Rosemary took a moment to simply breathe in the tranquil atmosphere of this newfound sanctuary. The air in the cove was different from the open sea, richer, filled with the earthy scents of land. The fragrance of salt spray mingled with the sweet aroma of wildflowers that dotted the shoreline and the fresh green scent of the surrounding forest. Each breath felt like a renewal, filling Rosemary with a sense of peace and connection to the natural world. Deciding to explore the shore, Rosemary lowered her small rowboat into the water. The oars cut through the glassy surface of the cove with barely a sound, creating gentle ripples that spread out in perfect circles. As she approached the beach, the soft susurration of tiny waves against sand reached her ears, a delicate sound that seemed to exist in perfect harmony with the quiet of the cove. Her feet sank into the warm, fine sand. As she stepped onto the shore, Rosemary wiggled her toes, enjoying the sensation of the grains against her skin. She began to walk along the water's edge, her footprints leaving a temporary record of her presence in this secluded paradise. As she strolled, Rosemary's eyes were drawn to the myriad of small treasures that lay scattered along the beach. Shells of various shapes and sizes caught the sunlight, their pearlescent surfaces shimmering with subtle hues. Smooth pebbles, polished by countless tides, invited her touch. She began to collect these small gifts from the sea, each one a miniature work of art shaped by the patient hands of nature. The rhythmic sound of the waves and the warm sun on her skin lulled Rosemary into a meditative state. She found herself losing track of time, completely immersed in the simple act of beachcombing. Each shell and stone she picked up seemed to hold a story, a tiny piece of the vast ocean's history. As the day wore on, Rosemary settled herself on a sun-warmed rock, her collection of beach treasures arrayed before her. She began to arrange the shells and pebbles into patterns, creating ephemeral mandalas in the sand. The act was soothing, requiring just enough focus to quiet her mind without demanding deep concentration. The afternoon passed in peaceful solitude, broken only by the occasional cry of a seabird or the distant splash of a fish. Rosemary found herself in no hurry to leave this tranquil spot. The cove had become a sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still, and the worries of the world faded into insignificance. As the sun began its descent towards the horizon, painting the sky in soft pastels, Rosemary reluctantly prepared to return to her boat. She gathered a few of her favorite finds, a perfectly spiraled shell, a heart-shaped pebble, a piece of sea glass smoothed by the waves. These would serve as mementos of this peaceful interlude in her journey. Rowing back to her anchored vessel, Rosemary felt a deep sense of gratitude for this unexpected gift, a day of perfect tranquility in a hidden cove. As she climbed aboard and prepared for the night ahead, she knew that the memory of this place would stay with her, a mental oasis she could return to whenever she needed a moment of peace. The gentle rocking of her boat and the soft lapping of waves against the hull soon lulled Rosemary into a deep, restful sleep. In her dreams, she walked along endless, peaceful shores, the quiet cove, a symbol of the serenity she had found in her new life on the sea. As dawn broke on the horizon, Captain Rosemary awoke to a world transformed. The sky, usually a canvas of vibrant colors at this hour, was instead a soft, uniform gray. A gentle mist hung in the air, blurring the line between sea and sky. Rosemary took a deep breath, savoring the crisp, clean scent that heralded the approach of rain. The first droplets began to fall as Rosemary emerged from her cabin, pattering softly on the deck. They were light and refreshing, more of a caress than a downpour. Rosemary tilted her face upward, allowing the cool drops to land on her skin. A natural awakening that was far more soothing than any alarm could ever be. As the rain settled into a steady rhythm, Rosemary decided to embrace the day's gentle offering. She secured the sails and let her boat drift lazily on the calm sea. There was no need to rush on a day like this. Returning to the shelter of her cabin, Rosemary lit a small lantern, its warm glow creating a cozy atmosphere that contrasted pleasantly with the cool, damp air outside. She put a kettle on to boil, the prospect of a hot cup of tea adding to the day's simple comforts. While the water heated, Rosemary settled into her favorite chair, a well-worn, comfortable seat that had seen many voyages. Each drop sent out tiny ripples, overlapping and interacting in a constantly changing dance. The whistle of the kettle drew Rosemary from her reverie. With practiced movements, she prepared her tea, the aromatic steam rising to mingle with the damp air. Cradling the warm mug in her hands, she returned to her seat, content to spend the morning in quiet contemplation. As she sipped her tea, Rosemary let her mind wander, drifting like her boat on the gentle currents of memory. The sound of rain on the deck reminded her of countless storms weathered, of nights spent on watch as lightning split the sky. But those memories, once filled with tension and excitement, now felt distant and mellow, like the soft rumble of far-off thunder. The day passed in a peaceful blur, marked by the steady patter of rain and the subtle shifts in the quality of light filtering through the clouds. Rosemary alternated between reading from her small collection of beloved books, jotting down thoughts in her journal, and simply watching the rain dappled world outside her window. In the afternoon, the rain eased for a while, becoming a fine mist that hung in the air like a gossamer veil. Rosemary ventured out onto the deck, inhaling deeply. She took the opportunity to check her boat, ensuring that all was secure. The routine tasks were comforting in their familiarity, each action a reminder of her deep connection to this vessel that had become her home. As she worked, Rosemary hummed softly, her melody blending seamlessly with the natural symphony of rain and sea. As evening approached, the rain returned, now a gentle backdrop to the fading light. Rosemary prepared a simple meal, savoring the warmth of the food as she listened to the soothing rhythm of droplets on the cabin roof. There was a profound sense of contentment in this moment. Warm, dry, and well-fed, cradled in the embrace of her beloved sea. Night fell, bringing with it a different quality to the rain. In the darkness, the sound seemed to envelop the boat entirely, creating a cocoon of gentle white noise. Rosemary prepared for sleep, the day's peacefulness having seeped deep into her bones. As she lay in her bunk, Rosemary focused on the myriad sounds around her: the patter of rain, the soft creaking of the boat, the distant lapping of waves. Each sound was a familiar friend. a lullaby sung by the sea and sky. Her breathing slowed, matching the rhythm of her gently rocking boat. Drifting off to sleep, Rosemary felt profoundly grateful for this day of soft rain. It had been a reminder of the beauty to be found in quieter moments, in the gentle pause between adventures. As she slipped into dreams, the rain continued its soothing song, a constant, comforting presence in the vast, embracing night. The dawn broke clear and bright, the sky a canvas of pastel hues that reflected off the calm surface of the sea. Captain Rosemary stood at the helm of her boat, her weathered hands resting lightly on the wheel. As she breathed in the crisp morning air, the gentle breeze carried with it a sense of anticipation, as if the very ocean was holding its breath in expectation of something extraordinary. As the sun climbed higher, painting the water in shimmering gold, Rosemary noticed a change in the sea around her. The surface, usually broken only by the occasional leap of a fish or the gentle roll of waves, was now disturbed by something larger. In the distance, she saw a spout of water rise into the air, followed by the graceful arc of a massive, dark body slipping back beneath the waves. Whales. The realization filled Rosemary with a sense of awe and reverence. She had encountered these majestic creatures many times throughout her years at sea, but each meeting felt like a precious gift, a glimpse into a world far older and wiser than her own. Carefully adjusting her course, Rosemary guided her boat towards the pod of whales, maintaining a respectful distance. As she drew nearer, she could make out more details: the sleek bodies of humpback whales, their barnacle-covered skin glistening in the sunlight as they surfaced to breathe. The air was soon filled with the sound of their exhalations, powerful gusts that sent plumes of mist into the air. It was a primal symphony, a reminder of the ancient rhythms of life that pulsed through the oceans long before humans ever set sail upon them. Rosemary cut the engine of her boat, allowing it to drift gently on the current. In the sudden quiet, she could hear the whales more clearly, not just their breathing, but also the haunting melodies of their songs. The complex series of clicks, moans, and ethereal wails seemed to resonate through the water and the very air around her. As she listened, Rosemary felt a deep sense of peace wash over her. There was a wisdom in these songs, a knowledge passed down through countless generations of whales. It spoke of the vastness of the oceans, of journeys spanning thousands of miles, of the eternal dance of life beneath the waves. The whales continued their unhurried passage, surfacing and diving in a graceful ballet. Rosemary watched in silent wonder as a mother whale swam close to her calf, gently guiding it with a nudge of her massive flipper. The bond between them was palpable, a testament to the deep connections that existed in the animal world. As the day wore on, Rosemary found herself lost in contemplation. The presence of the whales had awakened something within her, a sense of her own small place in the grand tapestry of life. Yet rather than feeling diminished by this realization, she felt profoundly connected to everything around her. The sun began its descent towards the horizon, casting long golden rays across the water. The whales, too, seemed to be preparing for the evening. Their surfacing becoming less frequent, Rosemary knew that soon they would dive deep for the night, continuing their mysterious journey to destinations unknown. As twilight approached, one of the largest whales in the pod surfaced near Rosemary's boat. For a moment, their eyes met, the whale's ancient, knowing gaze locking with Rosemary's weathered but wonder-filled eyes. In that brief connection, Rosemary felt as though she glimpsed eternity, a flash of understanding that transcended the barriers of species. The whale slipped beneath the waves with barely a ripple, leaving Rosemary breathless with the profundity of the moment. As darkness fell and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, she could still hear the distant songs of the whales, growing fainter as they moved on in their timeless migration. Rosemary prepared her boat for the night, her movements slow and deliberate, her mind still filled with the day's extraordinary encounters. As she settled into her bunk, the gentle rocking of her boat seemed to echo the rhythmic movements of the whales. In the quiet of the night, with only the soft lapping of waves against the hull to keep her company, Rosemary reflected on the wisdom of the whales. Their presence had been a reminder of the deep mysteries of the sea, of the countless stories and lives that existed beneath its surface. As sleep began to claim her, Rosemary felt profoundly grateful for this day, for the privilege of bearing witness to one of nature's great wonders. The whales' songs echoed in her dreams, a melodic reminder of the beauty and majesty of the world she sailed upon, and the endless possibilities that each new dawn could bring. The morning sun cast a warm glow over Captain Rosemary's small vessel as she emerged from her cabin, a steaming mug of herbal tea in hand. Her eyes, still heavy with sleep, immediately brightened as they fell upon the collection of plants that adorned the deck of her boat. This floating garden, a labor of love, cultivated over many months at sea, had become one of Rosemary's greatest joys in her new, peaceful life. Rosemary moved among her plants with the care and attention of a devoted gardener. Each pot and planter had been carefully secured to withstand the gentle rocking of the boat, creating a tapestry of green that brought life and color to the wooden deck. The air was filled with a medley of scents, the sharp tang of herbs mingling with the sweet perfume of flowers and the ever-present salt of the sea. She began her morning ritual, checking each plant in turn. Her weathered fingers gently probed the soil, testing for moisture. Where needed, she watered her charges, using a small can filled with collected rainwater. The soft patter of water droplets on leaves created a soothing rhythm, a gentle counterpoint to the lapping of waves against the hull. In one corner of the deck, a small herb garden flourished. Rosemary smiled as she ran her hand over her namesake plant, releasing its aromatic oils into the air. Alongside it grew basil, thyme, and mint, their leaves lush and vibrant. These herbs not only provided fresh flavors for her meals, but also served as a natural pharmacy, offering remedies for minor ailments that might arise during her long voyage. Nearby, a collection of succulents basked in the morning sun. Their fleshy leaves, adapted to store water, made them perfect companions for life at sea. Rosemary marveled at their diverse shapes and colors. Each plant was a testament to nature's resilience and adaptability. As she tended to her garden, Rosemary's thoughts drifted to the journey that had brought each plant into her care. Some had been with her from the beginning, carefully chosen before she set sail. Others were souvenirs from distant ports, living mementos of the places she had visited. Each had a story, a connection to a moment in time, or a fleeting encounter that had touched her heart. In the center of her garden stood her pride and joy, a small lemon tree in a large pot. Its glossy leaves caught the sunlight, and a few fragrant blossoms promised future fruit. Rosemary remembered the day she had acquired the sapling, bartering with a kind-faced vendor in a sun-drenched market. The tree was more than just a source of fresh citrus. It was a symbol of the new roots she was growing in her life at sea. As the morning wore on, Rosemary settled into the peaceful task of pruning and shaping her plants. The repetitive motions of her hands as she carefully trimmed away dead leaves and encouraged new growth became a form of meditation. In these quiet moments, surrounded by the life she nurtured, Rosemary felt a profound sense of purpose and connection to the world around her. The gentle breeze carried the scent of her garden out to sea, attracting the occasional curious earbird. Rosemary watched with amusement as a particularly bold gull landed on the railing, eyeing her work with apparent interest. She spoke softly to the bird, sharing the names and properties of each plant as if it were a fellow gardener come to visit. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Rosemary's attention turned to the edible part of her garden. She carefully harvested a few ripe cherry tomatoes, their skins warm from the sun, and plucked some fresh herbs for her midday meal. The act of gathering food she had grown herself filled her with a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. In the heat of the afternoon, Rosemary retreated to the shade of her cabin, but she left the door open, allowing the scents and sounds of her garden to drift in. The gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze became a soothing lullaby, lulling her into a peaceful nap. As evening approached, Rosemary returned to her deck, watching the setting sun paint the sky in brilliant hues. The golden light caught the edges of leaves and petals, transforming her floating garden into a magical realm. She sat among her plants, feeling the day's warmth radiating from the deck, and reflected on the simple joy and profound peace she had found in nurturing life amidst the vast expanse of the sea. As darkness fell and the first stars appeared in the sky, Rosemary lit a few small lanterns around her garden. The soft glow created an enchanting atmosphere, casting gentle shadows and highlighting the contours of leaves and flowers. The night air was filled with the sweet scent of evening, blooming flowers, a final gift from her garden before the day's end. Rosemary prepared for sleep, her mind calm and her heart full. As she drifted off to sleep, the gentle rocking of her boat mingled with the rustle of leaves, creating a perfect lullaby, a song of growth, nurture, and the enduring cycle of life at sea. As twilight descended upon the sea, Captain Rosemary stood at the bow of her boat, watching the last rays of sunlight paint the sky in hues of deep purple and indigo. The air was calm, carrying the faintest hint of salt and distant shores. As darkness enveloped the world around her, Rosemary prepared herself for a night of quiet contemplation under the stars. However, as the last vestiges of daylight faded, something extraordinary began to unfold. The gentle waves lapping against the hull of her boat started to shimmer with an ethereal blue-green light. At first, Rosemary thought her eyes were playing tricks on her, a residual effect of the day's bright sun. But as the darkness deepened, the phenomenon only grew more pronounced. Rosemary leaned over the side of the boat, her eyes wide with wonder. The water around her vessel was alive with light, each wave crest glowing as if lit from within. She recognized this magical display for what it was. As her boat gently rocked on the waves, the movement stirred the plankton into a frenzy of illumination. It was as if the stars had fallen from the sky and come to dance in the sea. The sight was breathtaking, a reminder of the countless wonders that existed in the world, often just beyond our everyday perception. Rosemary dimmed the lights on her boat, allowing the natural phosphorescence to take center stage. In the soft glow, she could see fish darting beneath the surface, their movements leaving trails of light in their wake. It was like watching shooting stars, but instead of streaking across the sky, they zigzagged through the depths of the ocean. Overcome by the beauty of the moment, Rosemary decided to immerse herself more fully in this magical experience. She carefully lowered herself into her small dinghy, making sure to bring a lantern for safety. As she rowed gently away from her anchored boat, each stroke of the oars sent swirls of luminescence spinning out into the darkness. Once she had rowed a short distance, Rosemary shipped the oars and allowed the dinghy to drift. She trailed her hand in the water, marveling at how the light seemed to flow around her fingers like liquid starlight. The cool water against her skin and the soft lapping of waves against the dinghy created a soothing rhythm, a lullaby sung by the sea itself. As she sat in quiet contemplation, Rosemary reflected on the incredible journey that had brought her to this moment. From her days as a fierce pirate captain to her current life of peaceful exploration, every experience had led her here. To this night of wonder and magic, she felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over her, as encompassing as the glowing sea that surrounded her. The hours slipped by unnoticed as Rosemary basked in the gentle radiance of the bioluminescent display. She watched as nocturnal seabirds skimmed low over the water, their wingtips leaving glowing trails in their wake. Occasionally, a larger creature, perhaps a seal or a small whale, would surface, creating a spectacular burst of light that rippled outward like a liquid firework. As the night deepened, Rosemary found herself speaking softly to the glowing waters. She shared her thoughts, her dreams, and her gratitude with the countless tiny organisms that had created this magical night. Though she knew they couldn't understand her words, she felt a deep connection to these small but remarkable creatures, each one a vital part of the ocean's vast ecosystem. Eventually, Rosemary reluctantly decided it was time to return to her boat. As she rowed back, each stroke illuminated the path before her, as if the sea itself was lighting her way home. Once aboard, she prepared for sleep, her mind still filled with the wonder of what she had witnessed. Lying in her bunk, Rosemary could still see the soft glow of bioluminescence through her cabin window. The gentle rocking of the boat, combined with the hypnotic pulsing of the light outside, soon lulled her into a peaceful sleep. Her dreams that night were filled with images of glowing seas and underwater constellations, a subconscious reflection of the magic she had experienced. As dawn approached, the bioluminescent display gradually faded, giving way to the soft light of early morning. Rosemary awoke, feeling refreshed and renewed, carrying with her the memory of the phosphorescent night. She knew that this experience would stay with her always, a cherished reminder of the beauty and magic that could be found in the quietest moments of her journey. Standing on the deck, watching the sun rise over a now calm and ordinary-looking sea, Rosemary smiled to herself. She knew that beneath the surface, those tiny, luminous creatures were still there, waiting for the next night to share their magic with the world. It was a perfect metaphor, she thought, for the wonder and potential that existed within all things, often hidden but always present, waiting for the right moment to shine. As dawn broke on another day of Captain Rosemary's journey, the sky and sea merged in a seamless expanse of soft blue. Rosemary stood at the helm of her boat, her weathered hands resting lightly on the wheel, her eyes fixed on the horizon that stretched endlessly before her. The gentle breeze that filled her sails carried with it the promise of new discoveries and continued peace. Rosemary's journey had been long and filled with wonders, from the playful dolphin that had kept her company to the majestic whales that had shared their ancient songs. She had found solace in quiet coves, joy in her floating garden, and magic in the phosphorescent seas. Each experience had left its mark on her, shaping her understanding of the world and her place within it. As she sailed onwards, Rosemary reflected on how her perception of adventure had changed. In her younger days, she had sought excitement in daring deeds and perilous quests. Now she found that true adventure lay in the quiet moments, in the play of light on water, in the growth of a tiny seedling, in the song of the wind through her sails. The horizon before her seemed to symbolize the endless possibilities that still lay ahead. Though she had no specific destination in mind, Rosemary felt a sense of purpose in her wanderings. Each nautical mile brought new sights, new scents, new experiences to savor and contemplate. As the morning progressed, Rosemary went about her daily tasks with a sense of contentment. She checked her charts, though she allowed the wind and her intuition to guide her as much as any map. She tended to her garden, marveling at how her plants had adapted to life at sea, much as she had. The simple acts of watering, pruning, and harvesting connected her to the rhythm of life, a rhythm that pulsed steadily beneath the ever-changing surface of the sea. In the afternoon, Rosemary settled into her favorite spot on the deck, a book in her hand. Yet she found her gaze constantly drawn to the horizon, to the place where sky met sea in a shimmering line. She realized that this view, ever present yet ever changing, had become a source of meditation for her. In its constancy, she found comfort. In its vastness, she found perspective. As the sun began its descent towards the western horizon, painting the sky in warm hues of gold and pink, Rosemary prepared a simple meal from the bounty of her garden and the sea. She savored each bite, grateful for the nourishment provided by the world around her. The act of eating became a communion with nature, a recognition of the interconnectedness of all living things. With the coming of twilight, Rosemary lit a small lantern and sat on the deck, watching as the first stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky. The gentle rocking of her boat and the soft lapping of waves against the hull created a soothing lullaby. She found herself speaking softly, sharing her thoughts with the sea and sky, as one might with an old friend. She spoke of her gratitude for the peace she had found, for the wonders she had witnessed, and for the journey that continued to unfold before her. She acknowledged the challenges she had faced and overcome, recognizing how they had shaped her into the person she was today, and she expressed her openness to whatever new experiences the vast ocean might bring her way. As night fully embraced the world, Rosemary remained on deck, lost in contemplation. The stars above and their reflections in the calm sea created the illusion that she was sailing through the cosmos itself. In this moment, she felt small, yet significant, a tiny part of the universe, yet connected to its vast entirety. Rosemary understood now that her true home was not any port or shore, but this ever-moving, ever-changing seascape. The endless horizon was not a boundary to be reached, but an invitation to continue exploring, growing, and marveling at the beauty of existence. As she finally prepared for sleep, Rosemary felt a deep sense of contentment settle in her soul. Her journey had no endpoint, no final destination. Lying in her bunk, lulled by the familiar creaks and groans of her faithful boat, Rosemary closed her eyes. Her dreams that night were filled with images of boundless seas and skies, of vibrant life, both seen and unseen, of the interplay of light and shadow on the waters. In her sleep, she smiled, for she knew that, when she woke, another day of wonder and peaceful adventure awaited her. And so, Captain Rosemary sailed on, her heart full and her spirit free. The endless horizon beckoned, not as a goal to be reached, but as a constant reminder of the vastness of the world and the limitless potential for discovery, growth, and peace. Her journey continued, as endless and as beautiful as the sea itself. Thank you for allowing Fireside Fables to be a part of your journey tonight. We hope our story has gently guided you to the gates of dreamland, wrapping you in the comfort of tales told by the fireside's warm glow. For those of you who might still be seeking the embrace of sleep, stay with us a little longer. A calm, meditative piece will follow shortly, designed to ease you into a restful slumber under the watchful care of the night's peaceful embrace. Remember, the path to dreamland is always here, lit by the soft light of our fireside tales. May you find tranquility, peace, and the sweetest of dreams. Close your eyes and settle into a comfortable position. Whether you're lying down or seated, allow your body to relax completely. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with air, and then gently exhale, releasing all the tension from your body. This meditation will guide you into a deep, restful sleep. As you follow along, let my words be the gentle waves that guide you into the peaceful embrace of slumber. Begin by focusing on your breath. Feel the natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. With every breath, imagine a wave of relaxation sweeping over your body. Starting from the top of your head, let this wave of calm flow down to your toes, relaxing each part of your body one by one. Now, bring your attention to your mind. Visualize your thoughts like leaves floating on a gentle stream, drifting further away with each breath. There's nothing for you to do right now, nowhere you need to be, except right here in this moment of peace. As your body sinks deeper into relaxation, imagine a soft, warm light enveloping you. This light brings with it a deep sense of calm, filling every corner of your being. With each breath, this light grows brighter, your body feeling lighter. It's now time to let go completely. Your serene place is here to cradle you into deep sleep. With every breath, feel yourself drifting further into this haven of peace. You are safe, you are loved, and you are embraced by the gentle arms of sleep. As my voice fades away, let the calmness and peace you feel guide you into a deep, restful sleep. Your body knows what it needs, and it's time to surrender to the soothing rhythm of your breath, to the quiet of your mind, and to the warmth of your peaceful